Welcome back to the SinSters podcast. I, of course, am Betty Tucker, and with me today is Noodles. Unfortunately, due to some technical difficulties, Talia can't be with us today, but we're going to carry on. She's here in spirit.
Eh.
So how you doing, Noodles?
I miss her. I'm
Well,
okay.
she's here. She's here,
I
just not
know.
here here.
I know. For context purposes, she's here listening in, but she can't talk. And she put a sad crying emoji in the chat.
Oh no.
Oh my
It
god.
happens. Technical difficulties happen to all of us. It is the way of the world.
It's the Russian spy bots, man. They're after all of us.
I'm telling. Well, they've got something going on over there with a nuclear reactor, like something possibly Chernobyl size happening. So there's no telling what's actually going on.
Oh yay.
Well, we've got two stories for you today. The first one I'm going to lead off with is about Sally Carter and Cedarhurst Mansion, and then Noodles is going to follow that up with one about.
It's Lord Lucan. It's quite an infamous story, like missing person story from here in the UK.
Okay, and then our last story is kind of it's funny. Just the title of the story is the everything of the story.
Just be glad we didn't choose the chicken wings, okay?
Yes, that was. I don't even want to think about that. All right, so I'll go ahead and get started. This is the story of Sally Carter and the Cedarhurst Mansion. Huntsville, Alabama has many distinctions. It is home to an impressive amount of companies and organizations, such as Boeing, NASA, and Raytheon. It also has more PhDs per square mile than any city in the South. It also happens to be one of Alabama's most haunted cities. One of the more famous hauntings is the Cedarhurst Mansion, located at what is now a clubhouse and a townhome community. The mansion was established by Stephen Irving in 1832. Stephen Irving was the president of Branch Bank of Huntsville. In 1814, Stephen married Mary Hudson Polly Carter in Huntsville, Alabama. Sally Carter, the younger sister of Mary Irving, while visiting her sister at the mansion, was struck by a quick and fatal illness and died November the 28th, 1837, just 3 weeks short of her 16th birthday. Young Sally loved the estate, and that is why some say you can still feel her presence there. Sightings of Sally go back to 1919, when a 17-year-old boy from Dothan, Alabama, slept outside of Sally's bedroom. That night, during a rather strong storm, he had had a dream that Sally visited him, asking him to prop up her headstone. When he awoke the next morning, he explained the strange dream to his family and explained that he was going to go find Sally's grave. They laughed at him, but when he arrived, her tombstone had indeed been blown over during the storm. The popular local legend ends with the boy going back to his town of Dothan, never to return to Huntsville again. Previous to 1982, Sally's grave was in a family plot located on the estate. She had so many visitors that a well-worn path had been made from the road all the way to the grave. She did, unfortunately, have several teenagers vandalize her grave. That is why in 1982, Sally, her sister, and her sister's 3 children were relocated to an undisclosed location in the Maple Hill Cemetery. That is, her casket was relocated. Some claim that when her grave was excavated, that the casket itself was completely empty. Besides the tombstones falling over and the casket being empty of mortal remains, Sally is also stirred up local folks being sighted walking around the grounds of the estate that she loved so much. A past guard at Cedarhurst heard Sally walking upstairs one evening when she was surveying the estate. After the woman's shift had ended, she realized that she had lost some money at some point doing her rounds. After searching the grounds, hearing footsteps following her, and an unnerving flickering of her flashlight, the guard gave up. The money was lost. But once she returned to the guard shack, her flickering flashlight began to shine brightly, shining directly on the cash that she had given up on, in a place that she had already looked. She then heard a loud giggle of a woman, and she knew it must be Sally. Someone who knew both the Thornton and the Grace families, who had lived in the house at different occasions, had a friend who slept in Sally's room. When asked what it was like, the friend had told them about doors opening and closing by themselves, covers being snatched off the bed at nighttime, light switches being turned on and off. The girl thought it was all rather annoying, but after a while, they kind of got used to it. Many women claimed that their jewelry was broken in the area. Beads on necklaces shattered everywhere, broken bracelets. Because Cedarhurst is now a gated community, visiting the clubhouse is not very likely. Some locals have been able to see the place where Sally died, but visitors are strongly discouraged. If you really want to experience the ghost of Sally, however, there are always condos within the community for sale. Stop on by. So that is the story of Sally and the Cedarhurst Mansion. What do you think?
I mean, I'm kind of wondering, like, why was her grave vandalized?
Yeah, just teenagers being asses is the only thing I can think of. I mean, I've been to Huntsville a lot, and while, yeah, there is, stuff like the big companies and NASA, the space camp, etc., there's really not a whole lot else to do. So I can understand why kids would probably try to find their way to the grave.
Yeah.
As far as vandalizing it, it's just assholes being assholes.
No, fair dues then. Because, like, I think, like, what if it's, like, more targeted because they moved house because of it? Seems a bit more like there might be something to that.
I mean, possibly. They uprooted her and her sister and her children and moved them to a different cemetery. Well, they tried to uproot Sally, but apparently she wasn't there when they dug her up. So it's also kind of weird, too, that, it's, from what I was reading, it was over the span of like a week's period that she got sick and then died. There's not that many illnesses. I mean, I guess there are some, but it doesn't seem like there's that many illnesses that can, kill you within a week's time, especially if you're like a healthy teenage girl.
Unless it was something like the Spanish flu, but even then.
Yeah, even then that would take like a week or so. Take more than a week. It depends on how sick you got. That would, I guess, technically turn into pneumonia. I don't even know.
I don't know.
But yeah, it's kind of sad.
And like the horrible bit, like about like her body not being in the casket. Like, is there proof of that, or is it just like a conspiracy?
Well, according to the article that I was reading, it was rumored that had happened, but they didn't have any concrete proof that it had happened. What's odd too is that I did some digging and I found some pictures of the original property, like the original house, which is now, or the mansion, which is now the clubhouse. But you can't find any images of the house currently.
Yeah.
If you look on Google Maps, you can go all the way up to the beginning of the gated community, but then you can't see inside of it. There's not even any aerial views of the house. And I went on real estate sites and started like looking for
blueprints and stuff like that.
Blueprints and also houses that would be for sale in that community to see if maybe that was listed as one of the amenities. But I didn't really see anything. I mean, there was the condos themselves, but it didn't mention the house, didn't mention anything about the property. It just showed the images of whichever townhouses were for sale. So it's almost...
They wouldn't mention stuff like that anyway, though, would they really? Like, if they're selling things on real estate?
Not necessarily the haunted part of it, but I would think that because the pictures show it's a relatively, big house, an impressive house. And I would think that if it was a clubhouse in this neighborhood, that would be a part of a selling point of, hey, we have this community clubhouse that you can go to. Because I know most places with gated communities, even around here at my home, like that's one of the things that they show. They're like, oh, we have a community pool, or oh, we have a community restaurant, or we have, this, that, and the other thing as amenities. So it kind of makes me wonder how come that particular mansion isn't considered a selling point, but I don't know.
Might be some kind of like thing with the owners. Maybe? I don't know. Might have like, what do they call it? Like an embargo where you can't talk about it?
That is possible. That might be a thing that they've, made it clear that you don't talk about this. Maybe it's like a Fight Club type situation.
Oh God, no.
You don't talk about it. It doesn't exist.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I guess that kind of leads us into your story. What you got for us today?
I have got a story on Lord Lucan. It's one of the most famous missing people's cases in the UK, like in our history. And it's like relatively recent if you think about like when I read it out you'll understand. So Lord Lucan disappeared in 1974 following the brutal murder of his children's nanny. An inquest surrounding the case found that he was the murderer. He disappeared around the time of the nanny's murder, and to this day, no one knows where he went. The aristocratic Lucan family were accustomed to a certain amount of negative publicity on account of the actions of their ancestors. The family has a long and bloody history. However, this case is by far the worst and most famous. John Bingham, the 7th Earl of Lucan, married Veronica Duncan in March 1963. They moved to Lower Belgrave Street in the wealthy areas of Mayfair, a short distance from the Claremont Club. Now, the Claremont Club is an exclusive, you kind of see parodies of it in movies where it's like the rich boys casino club where the only men get in. They have to wear the fat cat and spats kind of suits and smoke cigars. It's one of those type of clubs. Veronica, or rather the Countess of Lucan as she was now known, gave birth to 3 children between 1964 and 1970, but suffered from severe postnatal depression after each delivery, which was treated with a variety of antidepressants that compromised her mental well-being. Even though she was suffering through these difficulties, she continued to care for her children. This is actually very uncommon for noble families in the UK. They tend to not personally care for their children. They'll get a wet nurse to breastfeed and other such things, but she herself took care of her babies. Credit to her. Although initially sympathetic to his wife's condition, Lucan became increasingly dissatisfied with his wife's behaviour changes and the marriage deteriorated. Mounting gambling debts also added to the pressure, and there are reports that he became violent towards his wife. The marriage disintegrated in 1973, and Lucan moved out of the family home in Lower Belgrave Street and into a garden flat in Elizabeth Street, which was fairly nearby, so we could see the kids often, I guess. He tried unsuccessfully to gain custody of their 3 children by hiring private investigators to spy on his wife and goad her into violent exchanges on the telephone. But despite his best efforts, she was granted full custody in June of 1973. By this stage, his debts had mounted considerably, and his bitterness towards his wife was increased further by the fact that she still lived in the family home, that if sold, would have solved all of his financial problems immediately. He reportedly told more than one person during this time that he wanted to kill his wife to get his home back and his children. On the evening of November 7th, 1974, the children's nanny, a lady called Sandra Rivet, was bludgeoned to death in the basement of the Lucan family home. Lady Lucan herself was also attacked, and she later identified Lucan as her attacker. So, the ex-husband. As the police began their murder investigation, Lucan phoned his mother, asking her to collect the children, and then he drove a borrowed Ford Corsair to a friend's house in Uckfield, East Sussex. Hours later, he left the property and vanished without a trace. The car was found abandoned in New Haven, which is around a 30 to 40 minute drive away. Its interior was stained with blood, and its boot contained a piece of bandaged lead pipe similar to the one found at the crime scene. A warrant for Lucan's arrest was issued a few days later, and his absence in the inquest into Rivet's death named him as her murderer. The last occasion in Britain a coroner's court did so. The children were never brought to him, thankfully, and they are still alive to this day. Within Britain, there has been continuing interest into Lucan's fate. Since Rivet's murder, hundreds of reported sightings have been made in various countries all around the world. Not one of them has been confirmed. Despite a police investigation and huge press interest, Lucan has not been found. He was presumed deceased in chambers on the 11th of December 1992 and declared legally dead in October 1999. A death certificate was later issued in 2016. And that's the story. No one knows where he went or what happened. What do you guys think?
Oh, he did. He did. His whole family did. Well, no, because not his whole family. It was just him that went missing, correct?
The wife, like Lady Lucan, she survived the attack that she said he did on her, and her and the children live to this day. There's some like little nitbit of information that apparently there's a very strained relationship between the mother and the children now, because the children are very publicly just like declared that they feel that their mother was involved with his disappearance. That's an interesting little fact. Yeah. There's a very, very, very strained relationship in the family that's been kind of in the public eye since then, and like to this day, like some of the children like openly say they don't talk to their mother because of it.
So, like, maybe she was anticipating, because he was in the financial position that he was, that he would end up being and because of her postpartum issues, that he would probably been able to, if not full custody, at least primary custody, with her having visitation of the children.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it as well, like to me, aristocratic families in the UK, when like they get married and everything, they still pay dowries, they inherit money when they get to certain ages and stuff, as far as I know. So he would have been an extraordinarily rich man. Other than the property that he owned, he would have been a very rich man. He probably would have never had to work a day in his life. Why did he have gambling debts in such vast quantities? Like, where did all of his money go?
Yeah, that is a good question. It's like, I mean, I guess if it was like extreme gambling debts, that yeah, that could be one place where his money could have gone. But it said that once he sold the home, it would fix all of his money woes.
Yeah, but we're talking about a home that's worth billions, like, or rather millions and millions, if not billions.
Yeah.
And we're talking about someone who was born as a millionaire, more than likely.
And he and the wife were still married during the time when he went missing.
I believe so. I don't know whether or not like they actually got divorced. It just says the marriage dissolved, as far as I could find anywhere online. But aristocratic families tend to frown on divorce in certain places. Like if there's still young children involved and such, they'll kind of discourage divorce and like keep it together for the public kind of thing.
So I was thinking maybe if they were still married, he said that he was pronounced dead in chambers, which means that a judge just declared him as such. They probably did that so that she could then have access to the property and whatever remaining monies that they had, unless there was a life insurance policy, which then she would need proof of his death for a life insurance inheritance.
Yeah. Like the whole thing is just like really weird. Like millions of pounds has gone missing, like, and he's ended up in debt, and they live close to the casino club, and it's like that's the type of club where like it's not. It's kind of shitty to say, but like it's not uncommon for there to not be losers in those types of clubs. Like you donate to the club so you keep winning your riches, kind of thing. Like that's how those rich people casino clubs work, as far as like I've found. So, you know, it's just for like the fun of gambling, and then he's lost millions. He's ended up in gambling debt. He wants custody of his children. If they must have been divorced for the custody battle, but maybe not, because you know aristocratic families can have custody battles and still be married. It's like some laws just don't apply. So I'm not entirely sure like whether or not they would have been divorced, but it doesn't sit right with me. Like I added a note at the bottom of it saying, I don't know why, but I feel like he did it and he's been hiding out the rest of his days in a holiday home somewhere with the missing money, or the wife did it and he's been hiding since, or maybe he was killed because of the wife, and that's why the children have such a strained relationship with her, is because she's responsible for his death and she's covered it up that well that he was never found.
Yeah, because if he had been like like you said, hanging out in a holiday home somewhere, if he had that type of gambling addiction that would land him in that much gambling debt,
Mm-hmm.
he wouldn't just be able to pick up and walk away from the money that the house could have
Yeah.
generated, and he wouldn't be able to just abscond and just be somewhere else without being in severe financial ruin. And you can't move money without there being some type of
Yeah.
trail. So yeah, he's probably dead, and that wife probably, she may have had something to do with it. She may have seen it coming down the line that if they did end up having a full-on divorce, she would end up walking away with nothing, especially since he had a gambling
Mm-hmm.
addiction. And since she had the postpartum depression issues, which even though she still cared for her children, you can sometimes use that in court. Well, she's unfit because,
Yeah. Like courts can be funny with stuff like that, like in a lot of cases.
hmm
God damn it, Nat. For context, our lovely third host Talia, although she has no voice, she's been posting SpongeBob and Shaggy memes in the chat with such mystery and spooky.
Nat in the
Yeah,
background.
Nat in the background. I'm literally just gonna put that on the screen. Oh, jeez.
But yeah, so that is an interesting story, and it's sad. It's sad because these kids lost their father, and I mean, considering they don't have really a relationship with their mother at this point, they lost their mother also.
Yeah.
All right, well, I guess that kind of leads us into our third story, which is silly as it can be. This is the greatest headline that I have read in a while.
We need this pick me up after the two sad stories. Jesus Christ. Nah, get your voice back soon, please, because this podcast is too depressing. We need your giggles. Alright.
Here we go. Members of a German Crossbo sex cult suicide pact took knockout drops before they were willingly killed in an attempt to be reborn in a higher realm, investigators believe.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Members of a... Now, I'm not going to read this entire story. I'll link it in the description down below. That way you guys can read it because it's kind of long. It comes from us. It comes to us from the Daily Mail. Members of a German Crossbo sex cult suicide pact took knockout drugs before they were willingly killed in an attempt to be reborn in a higher realm, investigators revealed today. In May, German police were baffled when 3 people were found dead from crossbow wounds in a sleepy Bavarian guest house. And 2 days later, 2 other cult members were found dead 400 miles north in Wittingen. Wittingen? Maybe.
It begins with a W, we know that much.
Yes. I'll put it on the
Okay.
screen. Y'all knock yourselves out. All 5 are understood to have believed they were world renewers and world heritage producers who thought they had been reborn multiple times and that their deaths could transport them to a higher realm. Detectives today believe Torsten Weiss, 53, Kirsten Enders, 33, took drops of narcotics similar to the date rape drug before Farina Kaspari, 30, shot them herself with a crossbow. And it just goes on from there. There was someone at the age of 35. There was a 19-year-old involved. From the images, the pictures, they look like normal people. I mean, they don't look like they're completely nutters, which is clearly what they were. But they look like normal people.
I love that that's the best
They were
way.
found shot in a bed holding hands. So at least they were going to be reborn together, I guess.
They were holding hands.
Holding hands.
In the pictures or as they died?
As they died. They took the drops, they passed out, and then someone else shot them.
How did the
with the crossbow. And then 400 miles over, someone else was shot with a crossbow, but then the person who shot them, the original couple with a crossbow, then later killed themselves. I don't know if they killed them with a crossbow or not, but that's unclear. But that person and the ringleader of the entire group, which was the gentleman whose last name was Weiss, and a medieval-themed shop filled with weapons, Knights Templar flags, and blood-spattered mannequins that were on the counter.
What in the fuck nugget happened there?
Who knows? Apparently, he also had confirmed that he had said it multiple times that he had a sexual contract with all 4 of the women. I mean, he was an older guy, so I'm like, how much sexual gratification were they getting out of it?
Wait, did the contract include death by fucking crossbow?
I don't know. I'm assuming maybe there was something in there about a crossbow because they, German crossbow sex cult. So I'm guessing it had to do something with a crossbow.
We need to differentiate them because there's a German medieval flail sex cult, but they're a whole different kettle of fish then.
I could not hear that at all. What did you say?
To be fair, you're really robo. I'm gonna have to patch a lot of this. I said the crossbow sex cult is far different from the flail sex cult. You need to make sure to differentiate that. Hello? Okay, so, Nat can hear me. She can't talk. I can't hear Betty. Betty can't hear me. Welcome to the SinSters Technological Podcast. Today we're going to be discussing many issues with our computers, including what the fuck is going on? Fuck me! And Betty's disconnected. Well done, everyone. We have made it to the top. GG. 1 million subscribers. Bollocks! Titties, fuck. Hello there, this is Editing Noodles. It appears that we had a lot of technical difficulties throughout making this week's video, especially at the end. I don't know where or why the start came from, but I'm just gonna quickly try and finish off. What? Kevin! It was you? Oh, for fuck's sake! No. Don't you dare. All that hard work. No! Of that, it starts work and the first thing you do is cough.
I'll do what I can.
1, 2, 3, 4. Do you want to count for me?
Oh, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4.
God damn it. Do you want me to do the intro, Betty?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh shit, I'm doing the adult thing. Okay, alright.
Because
3.
I'm literally not prepared.
Yeah. Okay, right, if you feel like you mess up at any point, Jibby, just go 3, 2, 1, and then carry on from where you were lost. So it makes it easy for cutting.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, right. I don't know what to say. Say hi. Say hi.
Yeah, the way I normally start is like, hi, welcome back to the SinSters podcast. This is Betty, but you'll be saying this is Noodles, obviously. And say,
No,
joining me.
Betty.
Yeah. Betty, yeah.
Just
Joining
confuse
me.
the shit out of everyone.
Exactly. Joining me is Betty and my friend Chibi, and today we're going to be talking about blah, blah, blah.
Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Alright, got it. Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Hello.
And I have invited
Why
him.
did I wait?
I did too, to be fair. Okay. Place Diffron Rochereau. I'm butchering that.
You are.
Can you
But
please
I'll
fix
allow
it? How am I supposed to say it?
It's the place d'Enfer Rochereau.
D'Enfer Rochereau. Okay. It was open to
Yeah,
public
let's say
visitation. Unless there's anything you want to add, which you didn't, we're good.
Yay. Can I say shit? Can I curse?
Yes, you can swear all
Okay,
you
cool.
want.
Good.
Fine.
Alright. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Hello. Fuck, I shouldn't say hello. 3, 2, 1. View available later. That was stupid. I'm gonna redo that. Okay. Fuck.
Do you want me to do it?
No, I got it. I just.
Okay.
Fuck nuggets. Alright.
But yeah, the whole...
Oh. I'm sorry, I was just gonna say something. My bad, Betty.
Go ahead. It's fine.
Wait. 3, 2, 1. But like honestly, like also like there's some places like down there that they're still undiscovered, so which is like more crazier, and like other places that you cannot enter anymore, and it's just like is it wait, hold on. Sorry, I just set up. 3, 2, 1.
I mean, we never know. There might be a Balrog down there.
Balrog's a giant spider, isn't it?
No, Balrog is a giant demon creature thing.
Okay. What's the
With
spider
a
called?
whip.
Is it she's
Shiva.
yeah,
Shima?
something.
Shiva? Yeah,
Oh,
giant spider.
Yeah, giant spider.
Yes.
Pause a sec. Nat, can you do me a favor? Can you speak as close to your mic as possible because you're really quiet?
Okay, yeah, sorry.
Okay. I've got you at like 200% volume, that's all. it's still really quiet.
Yeah, my bad. It's just like, yeah, it's my phone and all that.
It's fine.
And like actually, like since I know I sound more lower than I am. I need to speak louder.
Shout for me. Alright, back to it. 3, 2, 1.
I'm not gonna lie, like I would love to go to shit. Wait, hold on. 3, 2, 1.
But that's actually...
Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. Tonight I'm so bad. Wait, hold on. Shit, I almost fell. Sorry. Okay, let me go over that again. 3, 2. Going over like that. Damn it, I lost that again. Now it's me, Betty.
Sorry. Kush Taka. Start saying Kush Taka.
God, no! Don't stop that!
Okay, hold on. 3, 2, 1.
Well, there's a possibility that there might be something a bit more going on down there. Betty, your dog. I can hear your dog woof woofing and it's adorable. 3, 2, 1.
Sorry. At one point, they even used it as a school, which is unique.
I love the idea that like you've got French Revolution who are like Vive la Resistance on the walls and everything. Like we're so prideful. We are amazing. We're overthrowing the government, and then you've got Nazis just walking in like I'm on a pit swastika.
Exactly. Let's go paint a swastika. It's just...
Fucking idiots.
Yeah.
Fucking racist idiots. Okay, moving on.
By the way, fuck Nazis is all we can say.
No one likes them.
No. And if you like Nazis, fuck you too.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to listen anymore.
You can unsubscribe now. Bye.
Yeah, unsubscribe. And, go walk in traffic. Also, okay, so that time period right there, though, that is the anti-vaxxer dream. Just everybody gets sick, it's fine. Natural immunity, it's fine. We're just, we're hitting all groups tonight. We're talking about Nazis and the anti-vaxxers.
Yeah, this is all probably gonna go in bloopers, to be fair.
Yeah, but it's just interesting.
I forgot what I was gonna say.
I'm so sorry.
No, don't be sorry. That's literally just me. I have the memory of a sieve. I have memory like a tea strainer.
So that was all my facts.
Mm.
So I guess we can.
Well, that was it. It was. Thanks again to Chibi, and thank you Betty, and thank you Nat. Thank you Talia. I'll cut that. Don't worry, I'll fix that. And
maybe I should just use my real name, cause
we keep calling you Nat.
We keep doing it.
She's gone. Oh god. She was
Oh no.
fucking shit, my stupid phone. Sorry.
Okay, I'm done. Alright, thank you so much. Do you want to be Talia or Nat? Tell me now.
Oh no, like for real. Whatever you guys want, I like both.
Okay. You know what? I don't think it matters at this point.
Yeah.
Everyone on the server knows that she's Nat anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, alright, well, let's try that again.
Welcome back to the SinSters podcast.
Stop.
Sorry.
Yeah, the background noise is bad now.
Alright, hold on a minute.
Betty fries for the sake of the video.
Alright, how about now?
Can you talk?
Huntsville, Alabama has many distinctions. It is one of the most... Start again. 3, 2...
Welcome back to our game show, and here we have our contestant, a lovely mute Latina lady. I don't know why I decided to do that. I love you! So our blooper reels on 90% Betty saying shit and 10% Nat giggling, so Nat not being able to talk right now means that I have to do her giggles for her, which I can't because I don't sound like angel bells tinkling.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry, my
Good.
phone was blowing up over here next to me.
Alright.
Okay. Where did... Okay, I'll know. One night... You asked, why'd you put that up? I swear to God,
What?
you know I can't not look at that. Okay.
How do you have Discord open when you're reading? Come on. Okay.
Okay.
Let's go.
hearing it in my head now. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Sightings of Sally go back to 1919, when a 17-year-old boy... Because of so many... Fuck. Wrote that really weird. 3, 2... Previously, shit.
Previously, shit.
That is my life.
I love you. Okay, go.
Due to vandalization, that's not a real word. Hold on.
Yes, it is.
Vandalization.
Vandalization.
Due to grave being vandalized. Okay, let me try that again. After the woman's shift had ended, she realized that she had lost some money at some point on the grounds. After the grounds, heading back all over her, following her... 3, 2, 1. After searching the grounds, she started to hear footsteps coming from upstairs within the domicile. 3, 2. After shit, son of a bitch, man. 3, 2, 1. Done.
Can we just appreciate what I put in SinSters chat a minute?
Son of a bitch.
Okay. Whew. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Have a stretch first. I refuse to look at Discord. You're not getting me with the Markiplier gift. God damn it. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Lord Lucan disappeared in 1974 following the fuck. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Lord Lucan disappeared. What the fuck's that? I swear to God.
It's like vandalization. It's vandalization all over.
We're fucking cursed, man. Jesus. Okay. Right. 3, 2. I just choked on my. I fucking hate myself. Jesus Christ. 3, 2, 1. The aristocratic Lucan family were accustomed to a certain amount of negative publicity on account of their actions. Sorry. Whew, okay. It's because I posted that fucking picture. That's what it is. I'm just gonna take it.
I think that's what it is. You need to take it down.
I'm fucking deleting it. God damn it. Fuck you, you stupid otter. Okay. Sorry. Right. I'm gonna start from he unsuccessfully tried to gain custody of their 3 children by hiring private investigators to spy on his wife and goad her into violent exchanges on the telephone. 3, 2, 1. As the police began their murder investigation, Lucan phoned his mother, asking her to collect the children. Stupid scroll wheel. 3, 2, 1. As the police began their murder investigation, Lucan phoned his mother, asking her to collect the children, and then he... Oh fuck, I wrote that wrong. Hang on. Let me fix that. There we go. 3, 2, 1.